The Water Margin, Chapter 26.
We're tracking the unraveling of what was supposed to be a perfect crime, all because of a bribe, a witness's paralyzing dread, and a, frankly, brilliant plan.
We're diving right into the moment the clock starts ticking.
So our sources throw us right in with the Undertaker, a man named He Jushu. He has the grim task of preparing the body of Wu-Da.
But he doesn't even make it to the house. Before he can get there, the main perpetrator, Seaman King, intercepts him.
He's cutting him off at the pass.
Instantly. Seaman King gets the logistics of a cover-up right away. He knows the first person to handle the body is his weakest link.
So what does he do?
He throws a feast for him, and then just hands him 10 taels of silver, telling him basically to cover up the matter.
Okay, let's pause on that. 10 taels of silver. That's a huge sum for an Undertaker, right? It's got to be like a year's wages or something.
It's a lot of money.
But the dead man's brother is Wusong, the tiger killer. Is that really enough money to risk the wrath of a guy who killed a tiger with his bare hands? Seems, I don't know, a little low.
It's a profound risk, and that's the whole dilemma. Seaman King is banking on He Jushu's immediate greed and also his fear of local power, because Seaman King is a big deal in town.
But that all changes once he actually sees the body.
The reality of the situation just hits him like a ton of bricks. He realizes no amount of silver is worth his life.
And the sources are, they're brutally specific about the forensic evidence he sees.
Yeah.
The things that confirm for him instantly that this was murder.
Exactly. The claim was death by natural causes, but the signs are just undeniable.
What does he see?
The victim's face is described as purple-black. There's fluid, blood oozing from all 7 facial orifices.
Oh, wow.
And maybe the most chilling detail, there are faint tooth marks on the lips.
So those signs, the purpling, the discharge, that just screams poison, doesn't it? A fast-acting one.
It does. So this simple job of preparing a body suddenly becomes a criminal cover-up. And Jushu is compromised the second he takes that silver and sees the truth.
His fear must be just immense.
It's twofold, and the text really emphasizes this. On one hand, he's terrified of Seaman King, this, vicious scoundrel who could ruin him.
And on the other?
The brother.
Yes.
It's Wusong. Jushu sees him as a ruthless who will stop at nothing. He knows this cover-up just won't stand up to the tiger killer's scrutiny.
He's completely trapped. If he gives the silver back, Seaman King will get him. If he does the cover-up, Wusong will kill him.
There's no way out.
And this is where the story shifts. It goes from just fear to real strategic genius. And it comes from the most unexpected person.
His wife.
His wife.
It's a remarkable pivot. She immediately gets that this is about survival, not morality. And she gives him this cynical but brilliant 2-part plan.
Part 1 is feign illness.
Yeah, pretend he was overcome by an evil influence or something. It buys him time, gives him some distance.
But the really clever part is her strategic indicator.
The timeline. She sets up this perfect litmus test, and it's all rooted in just, human behavior.
What's the test?
She says, look, if Wu-Da's wife, Pan Jinlian, waits for Wusong to get back to arrange a proper traditional funeral, it might be safe.
But if she rushes it?
If she rushes the cremation, say, decides on just a quick 3-day turnaround.
Which, of course, she did.
Which she absolutely did. Then that is definitive proof that there is, in the book's words, something suspicious. It's a deliberate destruction of evidence.
And her instructions are so precise. If it's rushed, he has to go to the cremation in secret.
Right. And retrieve 2 specific pieces of bone. And then, and this is the genius part, secure those bones with the 10 taels of silver Seaman King gave him.
So he's using the bribe money as part of the evidence.
It's the perfect combination. The bones are the physical proof of the murder. The silver is the proof of the corruption. That bundle becomes what she calls major evidence. She turns the criminal's own payment into the weapon that will take him down.
Jushu follows the plan perfectly then. He says he's sick, sends his apprentices, and they come back and confirm it.
Yep. The cremation is on just 3 days later outside the city. The cover-up is accelerating just like his wife said it would.
So now Jushu has to play his part. He has to show up at this cremation, this sort of field outside the city, but he has to look completely harmless.
So he comes up with this little ruse. He shows up carrying paper money, and he claims he owes the dead man a small debt.
For what?
For a cage of mother and child steamed buns. It's such a beautifully small, relatable detail. It's designed to make him totally invisible.
And it works. While Pan Jinlian and the matchmaker, Wang Po, are distracted, he grabs 2 bone fragments after the burning is done.
And here we get to the absolute heart of the forensic discovery. He takes these fragments and he dips them in the ritual bone-washing pool.
Now, cremation, the heat destroys almost everything.
It does. But poison can leave a very specific, very persistent signature. And what he sees is just this chilling confirmation.
What was it?
The bones are soft and black.
Soft and black, even after being in a fire.
Exactly. That's the proof he risked his life for. If you die naturally, your cremated bones are brittle and white. The soft blackness is the telltale sign of residual poison reacting with the bone. And if you think about the bigger picture here, this quiet little act of evidence preservation by a terrified, ordinary guy, this is the entire foundation for justice later on.
It's amazing.
It really is. And he documents everything meticulously. He wraps the bones in paper, writes down the date, the time, the names of the mourners, and bundles it all up with the silver in a little cloth bag. The evidence is now secure.
Okay, so now we jump forward. The crime is officially a closed case. The evidence is hidden. The killers think they're completely in the clear.
Right, and the text notes that over 40 days pass, and it's just this period of open debauchery in the house.
This part is often overlooked, isn't it?
It is, and it's so important. The focus shifts to the neighborhood. Seaman King is basically living with the wife now, staying for days at a time. This isn't a secret anymore. It's open corruption, and everyone is too terrified of him to say a word. The whole social fabric is just broken down.
And the narrative gives us a little philosophical check here, right? Something about extreme joy breeds sorrow.
The pendulum has to swing back. And after almost 2 months away on official business, the agent of that reversal, Wu Song, is finally coming home.
And you can just feel the tension building.
Oh yeah, the sources convey this palpable dread. Wu Song himself feels uneasy on the road. And when he arrives, the whole neighborhood just knows. They take a deep breath and start whispering that disaster on the home front has started.
They're predicting a bloodbath.
They are. They fear him, but they also see him as the only possible cure for what's been happening.
The reckoning starts the second he walks in the door. He lifts the curtain and he sees the memorial. Late husband Wu Delang's position.
He's stunned. He calls out for his sister-in-law.
And upstairs.
Upstairs, Seaman King and the wife are caught completely by surprise. The moment Seaman King hears the tiger killer's voice, he's hit with this pure, instant terror.
The description is pretty graphic, isn't it?
It's great. It says he's so startled, he's voiding himself. He just flees, crashes out the back door through the neighbor's house.
Meanwhile, the wife is trying her own desperate cover-up. She'd been living it up, full makeup and jewelry.
And now she's frantically scrubbing her face, tearing off the jewels, changing into fake mourning clothes. She comes down the stairs, trying to produce some fake tears.
And she has her story already. Wu Da died of a sudden severe heart pain. Sick for 8 or 9 days. She did everything she could.
But Wu Song isn't just a grieving brother. He's a military man, a county official. He's methodical.
He cuts off her crying.
Immediately, and starts an interrogation. Pointed, factual questions. When did he die? What sickness? Whose medicine? And then he voices his doubt right away. He says, my brother never had this kind of illness.
And she seals her own fate with a lie about the burial.
The timeline. She says she cremated him after only 3 days. That rushed timeline, the exact thing the Undertaker's wife predicted, it confirms Wu Song's gut feeling. It tells Wu Song he has a case. But he needs to move beyond just suspicion.
This is where his preparation gets really chilling. He leaves the house, but not to talk more. He's preparing for what comes next.
He goes straight to the county office. He changes into plain morning clothes, but he secretly gets his weapon, a very specific weapon.
A wrist-cutting knife.
Exactly. The contrast is so powerful. He's buying rice and incense like a dutiful mourner, but he's armed like an executioner. He goes home to hold a vigil, dressed for a ritual, but ready for vengeance.
He sets up the offerings, kneels down, and makes this incredibly solemn vow to his brother's spirit.
He says, brother, if your spirit is not far away, if you died unjustly, send me a dream and your brother will avenge you.
He's asking for a sign.
He's asking for the final piece of evidence. And he waits. He can't sleep. He's just watching the lamp flicker. And then around 3:30 in the morning, the tension just breaks.
What happened?
A wave of intense cold air rises from under the spirit bed, a bone-penetrating cold.
And then the apparition.
A figure emerges from under the bed. The text says it's his brother crying out, brother, I died a painful death.
And then it's gone.
It's gone. The ghost is only there for a second before Wu Song's own vital spirit disperses it. But it's enough. That vision is the definitive proof for him. It's the final moral confirmation he needed.
His investigation starts quietly, right there, under the pretense of, just dealing with the tragedy.
Right, and his first move is just brilliant. He starts with the person who should know everything, but who is also, well, his prime suspect, his sister-in-law.
The widow.
The widow. And she's sticking to this very clean, very convenient story that Wu Da died of sudden heart pain.
Yintang Bing. It's such a perfect, non-specific diagnosis for a death like this, isn't it?
It is, but what's so fascinating is that Wu Song doesn't even challenge the cause of death, not yet. He sort of accepts her lie for a moment and focuses on the logistics.
Okay, so he's building a timeline.
He's building a chain of custody. He asks her who bought the coffin, and then who was the pallbearer. He's looking for anyone who handled the body, because those are the people who might actually know the truth.
And she gives him the names. Wang Po, the matchmaker, and the undertaker, a man named He Jushu.
And just like that, the focus shifts. It's not about a private family tragedy anymore. It's about the public figures who helped with the cover-up. Wu Song knows the widow is lying, but the undertaker, he's the key. He's the link to any physical evidence.
So he leaves immediately. Doesn't even waste a second. He heads straight for He Jushu's house.
And Jushu knows he is in deep, deep trouble. The text says the moment he hears that Wu Song, the famous tiger slayer, the police captain, is at his door, he just panics. He's rushing. He can't even get his head covering on straight.
Because he has something to hide.
He has the two most important things to hide, the bribe money and the physical evidence he pocketed during the cremation. He's terrified.
You can just imagine the fear. This guy knows the truth, and he knows Wu Song is not someone you can lie to. So he shoves this little bag with silver and some bone fragments on his person, thinking maybe he can hide and get rid of it later.
But Wu Song is just too fast. He won't even have tea. He basically says, we're going to the tavern now.
And that tavern scene is just, it's pure psychological warfare.
It really is. They sit down, they get some wine, and then Wu Song says absolutely nothing. Not a word. He doesn't accuse them of anything. He just drinks, cup after cup.
And Yushu is just sweating. Right. Trying to make small talk to lure him out, as the text puts it. But Wu Song is a stone wall. He knows that guilt doesn't need to be prompted.
The silence is the real threat. And then after he's let this unbearable tension build up, Wu Song makes his move. He pulls out a sharp knife, a jandao, and just slams it down on the table between them.
Wow.
And then he finally speaks. He says something like, look, I know you were just following orders, but if you lie to me, I will personally put 300 or 400 transparent holes in your body. It's an incredible threat.
I mean, that's one way to get someone to talk. He's using this extra legal violence to get the facts he needs for the legal system. It's a contradiction right from the start.
And it works instantly. Jushu just crumbles and pulls out that bag he'd been hiding.
So what's inside? What's the proof?
Two things that prove both the murder and the conspiracy. First, a big 10-tael silver ingot, the bribe. And second, two small, dark pieces of what he calls crispy black bones.
Crispy black bones. Okay, let's unpack that, because this is where you can see the forensic detail. The silver is obvious. That's the cover-up money. Jushu confesses that Shimin King gave it to him and ordered him to cover up all matters. But the bones...
This is the real clincher. You have to remember, Jushu is a professional. He's an undertaker. He tells Wu Song that when he was preparing the body, he saw clear signs of poisoning. There was congested blood in all 7 orifices, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and teeth marks on the lips.
Signs of a violent struggle, not a peaceful death from heart pain.
Not at all. It was a sign of extreme suffering. He knew it was murder, but because of the bribe and the official story, he couldn't say anything. So he did something clever.
He hedged his bets.
Exactly. During the cremation, he secretly pulled those 2 small pieces of bone from the ashes. See, normal bones burn white, but these were black and crispy. It's this kind of folk science, a sign that a specific, powerful poison like arsenic was used, which literally changes the bone's chemical structure when it burns.
So it's actual physical, scientific proof.
It is. Wu Song now has a confession about the bribe, an expert witness who saw the signs of poisoning and the physical forensic evidence to prove it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So he has the proof of death, he's the proof of corruption, but he still needs to connect Shimin King to his brother before the poisoning.
Right. He needs the motive. And Jushu gives him the final piece. He points him to a young pear seller named Yungae.
And Wu Song goes to find him immediately. But Yungae is reluctant, isn't he? He's just a kid, really. He's scared.
He's very scared. He's not corrupt. He's not a criminal. He's just a poor kid who knows too much and has a 60-year-old father to support. He basically says, look, I can't afford to get dragged into court.
So how does Wusong handle this? No knife this time, I'm guessing.
No, this time he uses a different tool. Money. Strategic investment. He gives Yoon-gae 5 taels of silver on the spot for his father's expenses, which is a huge amount of money for him, and promises another 14 or 15 taels to start a small business when it's all over.
He's buying his testimony, but he's also buying his security.
And it works. Yoon-gae feels safe, and he just spills the entire story over a meal. And this is the aha moment for you, the listener, because he confirms the violence that came before the death.
This is the failed sting operation.
The failed sting. Yoon-gae explains how he figured out the affair was happening at Wangpo's tea house, and it was his idea to help Woo-da catch them. He told him to pretend to sell fewer cakes to not arouse suspicion. The signal was Yoon-gae throwing his basket out of the tea house.
But it went wrong. Horribly wrong.
Catastrophically wrong. The signal worked. Yoon-gae blocked Wangpo at the door so Woo-da could rush in, but Jimin-king was ready for him. He burst out of the back room and, in this just shocking act of violence, kicked Woo-da so hard he was seriously injured. And Yoon-gae, seeing this, just fled in terror.
So Yoon-gae didn't see the poisoning itself?
No, but he saw the assault. He saw the motive and the violence that led up to the murder. He's the missing link. So now Woo-song has everything. Motive, a bribe, forensic evidence, and 2 detailed cooperating witnesses.
He has a case, a slam dunk case.
It should be. He takes Ho Ju-shu and Yoon-gae, along with the bones and the silver, and marches straight to the county magistrate. He files a formal charge, adultery and murder by poison.
And this is the moment of truth. This is where the official system gets tested.
And it fails spectacularly. The magistrate listens, then he consults his clerks, and the story makes very clear. The clerks have already been bribed by Jimin-king. The whole administrative body is already compromised.
So what's the excuse? How do they get out of this one?
Legal technicalities. It's swift. It's brutal. The magistrate says that the law requires things that are now impossible to get. Things like catching adultery in the act or catching thieves with the stolen goods. And most importantly, he says, a murder charge requires a visible injury on a body.
But the body was cremated.
Exactly. It's the perfect out for them. The evidence is now officially insufficient.
And Woo-song pushes back, right? He has the physical proof in his hands.
He does. He pulls out the 2 black bones, the silver ingot, and he's practically begging. He says, this wasn't fabricated by me. He's showing them irrefutable proof that this was murder, not natural death.
And it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Corruption wins. The magistrate gets another bride, and then he does something truly stunning. He gives the evidence back to Woo-song. He just hands it back.
Unbelievable. He's literally returning the proof of a murder.
And he justifies it with this incredibly cynical saying, something like, what you see with your own eyes might not be true, so how can you believe words heard from behind your back? He's basically dismissing everything, first-hand accounts, physical evidence, all to protect a wealthy killer.
And the clerks add another layer of bureaucracy to it, right? The 5 things.
Yes, the 5 requirements for a murder case. They say you need Shi, Shang, Bing, Wu, Zong. That's the corpse, the injury, the illness, the object, like the poison, and the trace, so the testimony.
And Woo-song has most of those.
Mm-hmm.
He has the object, the poison on the bones. He has the trace from Yoon-gae. He has the illness, the poisoning itself, from Ho Ju-shu's testimony.
He does. But because the corpse was cremated, they claim he's missing the corpse and the injury. And without those, they say the legal chain is broken, the case is closed.
So this is the moment. This is when Woo-song, an officer of the law, realizes the law has completely and utterly failed him.
Yes, this is it. Justice is not going to happen in a courthouse. He takes his evidence, he takes his witnesses, and he goes back to his rooms to wait. The official investigation is over. The private one is about to begin.
And his pivot is so immediate, so symbolic. He leaves the court, and he doesn't go looking for more lawyers. He goes shopping for religious supplies.
Right. Ink, paper, and sacrificial goods for a memorial service. A pig's head, a goose, a chicken, wine, fruit. He's preparing a ritual.
But he's turning that ritual on its head. He announces a memorial feast for the 7th day after his brother's death, saying he's just, thanking the neighbors for their help.
And this plays right into the widow's arrogance. She heard the lawsuit fail. She thinks Jimin-king is safe. She thinks Woo-song is just giving up. So she comes down the stairs boldly, not afraid at all.
But it's a trap.
Yeah.
And the setup is meticulous.
Mm-hmm.
He has the altar. The food is ready. But crucially, he's also stationed armed soldiers, his tubing.
One is behind the bar serving wine, which is very clever, and 4 others are at the front and back doors. They're not guests, they're guards.
It's a lock-in.
It's a lock-in interrogation disguised as a funeral feast. And he starts systematically inviting, or really forcing, the key players to attend. He starts with Wang Po, the matchmaker. She tries to leave, and he just says, "Don't worry, I have my own way of showing thanks," and makes her sit.
And he does this for every neighbor who knew something but stayed silent. The silver shop owner, the paper goods seller, the wine shop owner, who apparently senses trouble immediately, and the local cake seller.
He's assembling a jury of his peers, a jury of the complicit. He forces them all to sit down with the widow at the head of the table. They are all trapped.
And the atmosphere must have been just electric. The text says they're all seated, but with the guards at the doors, they feel as if imprisoned. The stage is perfectly set for Wu Song's private justice, and everyone who helps hide the truth is now a captive audience. We are unpacking one of the most, just intense and meticulously planned sequences in all of classical literature. This is Wu Song's vengeance from the water margin.
Right.
And we really need to be clear, this is not just a moment of, blind rage.
No, not at all.
It's a calculated act. It feels like it's designed not just for murder, but for documentation. It's bizarre.
That is the perfect word for it. It's the key distinction.
Yeah.
We're looking at a situation where justice, or his version of it, is happening completely outside the official system. And yet, Wu Song is, you could say, obsessed with getting it all on the record.
He wants a paper trail.
He wants a paper trail. This whole thing, the interrogation, the confession, the executions, he treats it like a full-blown public tribunal that he's inventing on the spot.
So our sources put us right there, in the room.
Yeah.
The home of his dead brother, Wu Da. And Wu Song has gathered 6 people. You've got the 2 main culprits, his sister-in-law and Wang Po, and then 4 neighbors. Yeah, and the atmosphere, you can just feel it. It must have been instantly suffocating.
Oh, it was psychological warfare from minute 1. He starts with this deceptive meal. He's acting, the text says, roughly but politely.
Forcing this horrible fake social event.
Exactly. It's almost more terrifying than if he'd just walked in swinging. It paralyzes them. They're sitting there with the executioner, and he's pretending they're all just, having a drink.
Wow. And the text has this amazing line to capture that feeling, right?
It does. It's a wonderful, visceral image. It says that by the 7th cup of wine, the guests felt like they'd eaten at Empress Lu's 1,000 banquets.
That is such a specific and chilling reference. Yeah. For anyone listening who might not know, why Empress Lu? What does that mean?
Well, Empress Lu was the incredibly formidable and ruthless wife of the founding Han Emperor. Her banquets were notorious. They were, just laced with political danger. You knew you were being watched, judged. And sometimes those banquets ended with, horrific displays of power.
Like the human swine incident.
Exactly like that. So when you invoke her name at a meal, you're saying, this is not a friendly gathering. This is a deadly trap. The guests know it immediately.
And the trap snaps shut pretty quick. One of the neighbors, Ku Zhengqing, he tries to get out of it.
Yeah, he tries to break the tension, says he's busy, he has to leave.
And Wu Song just shuts him down completely.
Oh, absolutely. The moment of no return, he just looks at him and says, "You cannot leave. If you come here, you must sit."
And that's it. The doors are guarded. The mission is clear. This is a court now.
Yeah.
And the first order of business is getting witnesses on the record.
This relentless need for documentation is what makes this so fascinating. He's not just after murder.
He wants a receipt.
He wants a receipt. He needs society, or at least this little slice of it, to acknowledge that what he's about to do is, in his mind, justified vengeance.
Okay, so the fake meal ends. Cups and dishes are cleared.
Yeah.
And Wu Song's whole demeanor,
yeah,
it just flips.
Like a switch. The shift is immediate. The text says he rolls up his sleeves and then just pulls this sharp knife, the Jiandao, from under his clothes.
No more pretending.
No. And his first words are, interestingly, not a threat to the culprits. They're a legal declaration to the neighbors.
He's setting the rules of his court.
Precisely. He's clarifying the boundaries of the terror. He tells them, my grievances have their heads, my debts have their owners.
In other words, this isn't about you. Unless you make it about you.
Right. You're safe only if you cooperate and act as a Zhengjian, an official witness. But, cooperation is mandatory.
And the threat is very real. If you try to move, you'll eat 5 or 7 knives first.
It is. And then before he even starts the interrogation, he stops everything for an administrative requirement.
This part is unbelievable.
It is. He asks the whole group, which one of you can write?
The revenge story literally grinds to a halt to find a scribe.
It just shows you what his priority is. This isn't a rampage, it's a trial. He needs that written record signed by the neighbors to legitimize the entire act.
He's forcing the community to co-sign his justice. So, Hu Zhenking is pointed out as the writer, and the stage is set.
And Wusong does not waste time with polite phrasing.
No. He immediately calls Wang Po, that old pig dog, and his sister-in-law, adulterous woman. The judgment is already passed.
But his sister-in-law, she still tries one last lie. She claims his brother died of heart pain.
Big mistake.
The final trigger. Wusong's response is just devastatingly efficient. He throws the knife, and it sticks right in the table.
A huge shock tactic.
And then he grabs her by the hair, kicks the entire table over, and drags her in front of the spirit bed. He's literally holding her down with his feet while glaring at Wang Po. The pressure is just
unbearable.
And she breaks completely. The source is so crucial here because she gives a full chronological accounting of the entire conspiracy.
And she doesn't leave anything out. She starts from the very beginning. The curtain incident hitting Shimin King, the adultery kicking Wu Da, designing the poison plot.
And she names Wang Po's specific role in aiding and abetting. It's the complete confession.
Yeah.
Legally sound, if you will.
And Wang Po just kind of whines, it only makes me suffer. But she admits it.
The words are spoken, and they're recorded.
Because Hu Zhenking is writing down every single word. This is the moment Wusong has been building towards.
Yes. Both women are forced to apply their marks to the document. The text calls it Dingsgolozi, pointing and drawing their marks. It's basically like a fingerprint or a cross. It formalizes their guilt.
And then the neighbors. They're not just spectators anymore.
No, now they are legal participants. All four of them have to write their names and draw their own marks as witnesses.
Wow.
They're forced to certify that the confession was genuine and therefore that the vengeance is righteous. That document is the whole point. Wusong wraps it up, hides it away, and only then can the first execution proceed.
The proof is secured. Wang Po is tied up, and now the focus shifts to the ritual.
And it is a ritual.
The sister-in-law is dragged and forced to kneel right before the spirit bed of the man she murdered.
It's a profound act. Wusong pours a bowl of cold wine for the altar libation, and he actually speaks to his brother's soul. He says he's here to report vengeance and clear hatred. This is for his brother's benefit.
And then comes the act itself.
And after this incredibly violent act, Wusong is just terrifyingly calm. He cleans his knife, cleans his hands, wraps the severed head in a quilt, and tells the neighbors to wait upstairs, guarded.
Because he's not done.
The first ritual is complete, but the mission requires another target.
And the whole dynamic shifts. The first murder was so formal, so ritualistic. Now with Shimin King, it feels faster, more opportunistic.
Right. The documentation is done. Now it's about speed. He takes the head and goes straight to Shimin King's pharmacy.
He doesn't waste any time. He just threatens the manager.
A very simple ultimatum. Do you want to die or do you want to live?
And the manager instantly cracks, of course. Tells him Shimin King is drinking upstairs in a restaurant on Lion's Bridge.
So Wusong goes right into this public place. He bursts into the private room and, talk about a shock tactic. He unwraps the quilt and just flings the bloody severed head right at Shimin King's face.
The panic must have been absolute. Shimin King screams, tries to escape through a window, realizes it's too high.
And it sets up this chaotic, close quarters fight. It's completely different from the first killing. Wusong loops on the table, kicks over dishes.
And Shimin King actually fights back for a second.
He does. He manages to land a kick on Wusong's hand, and the knife goes flying out the window into the street below.
For a moment, he must have thought he had a chance. He throws a punch.
And he realizes way too late that a man like Wusong doesn't need a knife to be deadly.
Wusong's martial skill is just on another level.
He dodges, grabs him in a superior grappling move by the leg and shoulder, and with a huge shout just flings him headfirst out of the window and into the street.
The text describes it so graphically. Head down, feet up.
The fall leaves him half dead.
And the narrator adds that detail, that he was fatally entangled by a wrong soul.
Exactly. But Wusong is nothing if not meticulous. He jumps down, finds his knife, and finishes the job. It confirms that even this chaotic public execution was sanctioned by fate. It was still righteous.
So with both heads, he returns one last time to the spirit bed.
For the double offering. He ties the two heads together, presents them on the altar, pours the wine one last time, and declares the vengeance complete.
He tells his brother's soul, "Today we shall proceed with cremation." The closure is absolute.
And finally, he comes back to the witnesses. He calls the 4 neighbors downstairs, brings out the bound Wang Pao, who is the only one left alive, and prepares to make his final statement.